your safe space. Here, words will heal and silence will comfort. Take a deep breath. Let your heart feel every word. This is not just a voice. This is your healing companion. Mahadev, a silent message. Have you ever wondered? A deity who sits alone in the mountains, with no palace, no army, yet he is the god of gods, Mahadev. He remains silent, but within his silence the entire universe speaks. He sits still, calm, bare-chested, eyes closed. No throne, no crown, just Rudraksha ash and deep silence. He is Shiva, Mahadev, and his greatest message is silence. Shiva doesn't give lectures, no sermons. He just sits, and his silence speaks volumes. There's peace in your heart. You no longer need words. His silence becomes his wisdom. When you feel lost, when words fail you, just remember Mahadev. He will understand without you saying a thing, because he himself has endured so much, yet never complained. He drank poison, but never blamed. He lost sati, but never wept aloud. He did the Tandav, yet returned to stillness. Mahadev's silence is a mirror, answering every question you hide within. A sanctuary for your tired soul, a new dawn for your broken hope. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means awakening. When you scream, when you break down, he doesn't interrupt. He just stays silent. And that silence says, this too shall pass. Just dive within yourself. Shiva teaches, the greatest prayers are not in mantras or chants. They live in your silent tears, in your quiet broken breaths. And in that silence, you'll find him. Mahadev still sits in silence, so you can hear him through your noise. His silence tells you, you are not alone. Just be still and dare to meet yourself. Power and simplicity, the Lord of Kailash. They say Mahadev rejected the grandeur of the world, no golden throne, no sparkling crown. He sits in the cold lap of the Himalayas, wrapped in snow, burning in the fire of deep meditation. Why? Because he doesn't need outer glory. He is in love with inner peace. He teaches us, be like me, not by worship, but by awareness. Have you ever seen a god whom the world lovingly calls Bulaneth, but who never called himself a god? He applies ash, not makeup. He wears Rudraksha, not jewelry, to remind you, this body, this ego, will all turn to ash. Shiva is not just a name. He's a silent realization. Sitting on snow-covered Kailash, where even the air stands still. He rests with no crown, no lavish robe, just tiger skin, the Ganga flowing from his locks, a serpent coiled around his neck, and an ocean of stillness in his eyes. In today's world, people chase big houses, fancy cars, fame. But Shiva, he seeks silence. He chooses meditation because he knows, once you know yourself, nothing else matters. Kailash is not just his home. It's his reflection, showing the world what inner stillness looks like. No lights, no luxury, just white snow, deep silence, and a meditative flame. Shiva teaches us that real strength is not in noise. It's in the silence you avoid. Simplicity isn't weakness. It's a power that needs no validation. He doesn't preach. He shows the more you shed, the closer you get to the real Shiva. Don't look for him in temples or gold. Find him in your own silence, because Kailash is inside. 2. The poison within the art of holding pain. When the ocean was churned, before nectar emerged poison. A poison so deadly that even God stepped back. But Shiv, he stepped forward, and without a word he drank it all. Not because he had to, but because no one else could. Poison stuck in his throat and turned his neck blue. And since then, he is known as Neelkanth, the blue-throated one. He never spat it back, never complained, never made it someone else's burden. He teaches you can't always change the world, but you can strengthen yourself, so no one else has to suffer. Everyone wanted nectar, but no one wanted to face the poison. Shiv didn't wait for applause. He didn't seek gratitude. He just took the pain and kept it. He held the bitterness so the world could breathe. And that's not a miracle. That's love. That's courage. He didn't just swallow poison. He swallowed expectations, pain, betrayal, and still remained calm. Think of your life. How many times have you tasted poison? From people, from moments, from heartbreaks? But Shiv whispers, be Neelkanth. When the world gives you bitterness, don't give it back. Hold it. Transform it. Turn it into silence. And let the world drink your kindness. The poison in Shiv's throat. It's a symbol of silent strength. He shows us the strongest ones are not those who strike back, but those who can absorb pain and still smile. Love and devotion from Sati to Parvati. They call him the god of destruction. But few see the lover within him, Shiv, the fierce, the detached, the renunciate. Once loved so deeply, so completely, that even the universe had to pause and witness. Her name was Sati, the daughter of a king, but the soul of a goddess. She fell in love with the one who had nothing but everything. Mahadev. Her love wasn't built on comfort. It was built on surrender. She left her royal palace to sit beside a god who lived on ashes and loved like fire. But fate wasn't kind. Her father couldn't accept this union. He insulted Shiv, mocked him in front of the world. And Sati, she couldn't bear that insult. Not of her husband, not of her Mahadev, so she closed her eyes and let her body turn to flames. That day, the universe shook. Because Shiv, the calm, the meditative, roared in pain. He carried her burning body across the worlds, grief carved into every step. His dance became destruction, the tandav that shook creation itself. Because when Shiv loves, he loves with his soul. He didn't just lose a wife. He lost a part of himself. For ages, he closed his eyes once again, not to meditate, but to mourn. Then came Parvati, the reincarnation of Sati, a soul reborn with purpose, to bring Shiv back to love. But he wasn't easy to win. He had sealed his heart, built walls made of silence and sorrow. Parvati didn't try to break them. She waited. She prayed. She transformed herself, not for him, but for her own devotion. Years passed, and one day, the silence broke. Mahadev opened his eyes, and there she was, not asking for love, but offering hers. That's when he realized love isn't about seeking, it's about seeing. She didn't try to change him. She chose to understand him. Parvati became his Shakti, his strength, his balance, the one who sat beside him, not behind. Together, they weren't just a couple. They were energy and stillness, creation and destruction, heart and breath. Shiv teaches us love isn't loud. It's steady. It's sacrifice. It's sitting in silence and still feeling each other's presence. Sati showed the power of pain. Parvati showed the power of patience. And Mahadev, he showed the world. Even gods fall in love. But only the purest hearts can rise in it. Live, not a Raja, the dance of life. When Shiv sits in silence, the universe breathes in peace. But when he rises, every atom begins to tremble. Because he doesn't just rise, he dances. And that dance is not just a performance. It's It's a cosmic storm, a sacred rhythm, a divine truth. That dance is not a Raja. He holds a Damaru in one hand, from which the first sound of creation echoed. He holds fire in the other that can dissolve even time. One hand blesses all life, and one foot crushes ignorance beneath it. He is not just a dancer, he is the dance itself. Every step he takes, a world is born. Every twist of his body, a world is destroyed. And in that rhythm lies the truth of life. You rise, you fall, you break, you rebuild. That's the dance. That's the cycle. That's not a Raja. Don't fear the chaos in your life. It only means Shiv is dancing again. The storm is not here to destroy you. It's here to awaken you. You are not falling apart. You're transforming. Every heartbreak, every failure, every dark night is just a beat in his rhythm. You think it's the end, but it's just a new beginning. That's what he teaches. Create, protect, destroy, repeat. Because Shiv doesn't build you with comfort. He builds you with fire, with silence, with storms. So when everything around you falls, stand still. Close your eyes, and you will hear it. The Damaru, calling you home. You are part of the cosmic dance. You are not separate. You are not broken. You are evolving, because Shiv never leaves you. He becomes you, in the dance, in the silence, in the fire. He is everywhere, especially within you. 6. Mrityunjaya, the journey beyond death. Call him Mrityunjaya, the conqueror of death. How can death be conquered unless you truly understand it? Shiv does not fight death. He becomes one with it. He embraces the end because he knows there is no end. Death is not darkness. It's not a punishment. It's a doorway. And behind that doorway, there's silence, peace, truth. Shiv sits in graveyards, not because he loves the dead, but because he has nothing to fear. He walks barefoot on ashes, wears a garland of skulls. Not to scare you, but to remind you that everything ends. And yet, nothing ends. Body burns. The soul moves on. Everything you hold on to, everything you cry for, everything you fear to lose, is just a costume, a role in this play. Mrityunjaya knows life is not about avoiding death. It's about living so fully that death becomes just another step. He whispers, "Don't run from it. Don't be afraid. Because what you fear is just the illusion of ending." When the time comes, he doesn't scream. He doesn't hold on. He smiles. He surrenders. Because he knows you don't die. You just transform. He teaches, if you want to live truly, you must die before you die. Kill your ego. Kill your attachments. Kill the lie that you are just this body. Then you'll see what he sees. Then you'll know why he sits among the dead, yet feels more alive than anyone else. Because Shiv is not death. He is the stillness that watches death come and go. He is the unshaken, the immortal, the undying fire within you. When you awaken that, you too become Mrityunjaya. 7. Ardhanarishvara, the divine union. Shows Shiv half man, half woman. One side fierce and calm, the other soft and nurturing. But this is not about gender. This is about balance. Because within you there is Shiv, stillness, focus, awareness. And within you there is Shakti, movement, emotion, energy. And when both come together, you become whole. Ardhanarishvara is not a myth. It is you. It is the perfect union of logic and love, power and grace, control and surrender. Shiv without Shakti is stillness without action. Shakti without Shiv is movement without direction. But together, they are creation. In every heartbeat, in every breath, you are dancing between these two forces. You speak with fire, but you heal with water. You fight with strength, but you forgive with softness. You are both. You always were. The world tells you to choose. Be tough or be tender. Be strong or be sensitive. But Ardhanarishvara whispers, be both. Because when you stop dividing yourself, you return to your truth. You don't need to become anything. You just need to remember. You are already complete. Half isn't enough. Shiv didn't stop at power. He became beauty too. He became love. He became whole. So when you feel broken, when you feel like something's missing, close your eyes. Go within. And meet the other half of you. Because the divine isn't outside. It's the dance within your soul. If these words touched your soul, let the silence now heal your wounds. Stay in this calm. Stay in this stillness. We'll meet again where words end and peace begins. Now all of you relax your mind for 5 minutes by listening to this music. Opening parenthesis. If these words have awakened something within you, then join us on this journey. Subscribe to this channel. Because it's not just a click. It's the first step to connect with the Shiva within you.